Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for another episode of the MLB Guardcast. I am Mike Vorhies. With me, as always, the man that is the glue that holds this whole thing together, Bryan Shaw. Bryan, it's not a happy Friday, but it is a Friday. How are you, sir?
Well, it's Labor Day weekend.
It's
going to be rock and blast at the stadium. The Guardians did win their last series, so it's not that bad.
Well, for those that may have been living under a rock recently, the Guardians dropped 6 straight before taking 2 of 3 from the Tampa Bay Rays. We are taking on water. Like there's holes and water is coming in. I don't know what to do, Bryan. What happened? Like, can we find the exact moment that things just kind of started to fall apart?
I have an idea. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have an idea of the
let
exact.
it rip.
I'll call it 2 moments. Cade Smith's back-to-back blown saves. That's tough go for the team. When you think you're going to win the game and you don't, and then you think you're going to win the game and then you don't, there's going to be moments of struggle with the guys, because think about that. If you get those 2 wins, things just look a lot different. And we did talk about this last time, because last time they were on this hot streak. They had the best record in the American League since the All-Star break, something like that. And we did preface that and say there could be regression to the mean here. There was the 10-game losing streak. Then they had the best record. And now they're, 500 since then, losing 6 in a row, but, winning. The unfortunate part is all the ground that you made up, and you were half a game out of the wild card.
Yeah.
Yes, you blew it up.
And we were 5 behind Detroit, and it looked like we were going to catch them, and life was good, and everybody was getting excited. Guardians fever was being caught by lots of people. And then all of a sudden, they just
you were
fell
You
apart.
were shut out 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Just really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. And then, they've clearly shifted their philosophy for the rest of the season. Carlos Santana was released.
He's a stud. I will miss him. I get that his stats this year were not great.
His offensive stats weren't great.
His offensive stats. He's probably one of the best defensive first basemen. His attitude, his leadership, like all of the things that you look for in a teammate, I feel like Carlos Santana checks all of those boxes. He's a phenomenal guy, and I knew that eventually something was going to happen. I knew that eventually the Guardians were going to have to make some moves. We've talked about it, 100 times this year, that, hey, the Guardians have a very tight 40-man, and there's going to be some difficult decisions coming, and we've had some injuries. And then I heard that he was placed on revocable waivers, and I remember shooting you a text going, well, it's time. And Daniel Schneemann was placed on the paternity list. They had a child, which is awesome. And then they needed to add Schneemann back to the roster, and the only logical place was to take Santana's spot. So officially gone. I hope for Santana's sake he's able to catch on somewhere.
I'm sure
he's not against anybody that I want to play against, because I don't want him here. Like,
part of that, I'm sure, is we're going to do you a favor. We're going to give you the opportunity because you want to see Kefis at first base. You want to see more Manzardo at first base. David Fry could start to play first base.
Why Manzardo just isn't playing first and Kefis isn't right? Why can't that just be the set?
Isn't that mostly?
Because I think Kefis has played some first here and there.
Well, he's traditionally a first baseman.
Okay.
Kefis is, yeah.
But he's made
him being in right field is the anomaly.
Yeah.
And honestly,
hey, I have to eat some crow because if it wasn't for Nolan Jones hitting a home run the other day, we would have lost the game.
but
So
he came back from the grave to hit that one. It's the Undertaker meme,
yeah,
coming out
he
of the
sat up
casket
and crushed it.
to clobber a home run. I mean, only 4 on the season is pretty rough. I gotta wonder. There was a lot of talk about hitting approaches and things, and the hitting coaches. And at the beginning of the season, Nolan Jones was hitting the cover off the ball, but his advanced metrics were showing that he was just unlucky. Like a lot of his, the way the ball was flying, how hard it was hit, he wasn't getting that return like he should. And it's almost as if they broke him and said, "Oh, we'll do this instead, and you'll have better luck." And then I think they just broke him because he has not hit with the authority that he did at the beginning of the season. And maybe they're, for the last month here, they're just like, okay, forget everything we told you, just go out and do stuff. And maybe that was the start of it. We'll see. And that's what this last month is probably going to be. Now, they are not out of the wild card yet because
it's not over. It's not over.
I mean, it probably is over. Let's not get our hopes up too much here. But
the white flag is about 3/4 of the way up.
My point is that they do control their own destiny. In fact, in the terms of they play a lot of the wild card teams. You have Seattle this weekend.
Big
the
series,
Red Sox.
yes, this weekend.
You have the Royals again. You have Detroit 6 times, right? Coming up. So you have an opportunity.
I'll pull their schedule up really fast. So yeah, we have 3 games against Seattle starting tonight. Then you're on the road for 3 games against Boston, on the road for 4 in Tampa, 4 at home against Kansas City, 3 at home with Chicago, on the road with 3 against Detroit. We have a 4-game series with Minnesota, including a doubleheader on a Saturday. And then 3 at home against Detroit, and we finish the season 3 at home against Texas. So it's not over, but we need
all
some
but
things
2
to
of those
kind of go our
series
way.
Are against teams fighting for playoff spots. Now,
yeah,
Detroit,
Minnesota and Chicago. Yeah, those are the 2 that don't matter.
And so you do control your destiny here. You have an opportunity to seize it if you can. Now, do I think they will? I think they'll middle. I think they'll be, we're going to go through, Guardians Twitter is going to go through the ebbs and flows they've been going through all season. It's over. This team stinks. Oh my God, they're back. It's over. This team stinks. Oh my God, they're back.
What you're telling me is they're going to finish 81-81 and just be 500, right?
I mean, somewhere around there probably. But you do have. My point is you do have an opportunity, but you had an opportunity already, and you did kind of squander it. You had an opportunity in the last 2 weeks, and you kind of pissed it away, and it's a really unfortunate.
You did. I will say this. There's a guy that we need to shout out right now that we were wondering when he was going to get called up. He finally got called up, and he has pitched his absolute tail off in 2 starts, looking absolutely phenomenal, and that's Parker Messick. He's looked phenomenal, folks. I'm sold. He's had 2 really good performances.
Yeah, especially because the rest of the rotation has struggled. Williams, Gavin has struggled since
Logan,
his no-hit bid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Slade Ciccone has struggled. Tanner Bybee needs to get his emotions in check.
Well,
it's been an issue all season.
We'll talk about that for a second. Yeah, we'll talk about that for a second. I commend Tanner Bybee for what he did. The timing, though, probably not great. He wants to win, and I understand that. He hasn't pitched the best. This team continues to do the roller coaster, up, down, up, down, up, down. I get trying to fire up your teammates, but let's not.
That's if you believe that's what he was doing. That's if you believe Vogt, and that's what he was doing.
I would tend to think that that's what he's doing. I can't imagine it would be he's pissed off and just frustrated. but like, don't do it when you got a camera on you. And then your
Well,
manager has
that's
to
what Vogt
follow you through
said.
the
He had
dugout
said, like,
and
go downstairs and go do that.
yeah.
Now, what I'm also talking about is his
I would have
emotions
put
on
up
the
a Kenny
field.
Lofton statue instead of Jim Thome. I don't know about that. I think Kenny
What?
Lofton's a phenomenal player.
I
I
don't get
do.
it. What are we
I do.
talking
Well,
about?
he's saying we have the Jim Thome statue outside of
Oh,
Progressive Field. He's thinking we should have given it to Thome instead, or to Lofton instead. I think Lofton's a heck of a player. Don't get me wrong. Thome gets the statue. Statistically, Thome was a heck of a ball player for us. I get everybody's kind of upset the way he left, but he did get a chance to come back here and have one more go at Progressive Field.
and he was one of the longer tenured players.
Okay. Can we retire Kenny Lofton's jersey then? I feel that that's well overdue. I think so.
We've kind of gotten off track.
We have that. I just saw that post and I had to throw that up. Anyway, Tanner Bybee, I think he had the right mindset. I just think you got to do that pregame. You don't do it then. You could tell that Vogt was not happy about it. And then he follows Vogt, he follows Bybee through the dugout, basically telling him to calm down, cool off. Like, we know that Bybee wears his emotions on his sleeve. And he has not pitched well this year.
But that's my point is, like, there's being emotional and being excited and being happy with, your accomplishments on the field and celebrating that. But for far too long now, he has let a seeing eye single, an error, getting squeezed, a bloop ruin the day. Yeah. Like it bothers him too much, and then it spirals, and that ruins the day. And this felt like kind of like a culmination of that, of then, because of an error and then running into the dugout and getting all la da da. If you want to be an ace, you need to be a little more Kluber-esque and stoic and Bieber-like and stoic.
Don't be Trevor Bauer and chucking the ball over the center field wall.
Yeah,
don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
The thing is so I put this together the other day. Hang on, let me find it. But
you are the statistician extraordinaire. You love stats, and I love that you share stats with me all the time. And it just makes me feel worse when I say something and then you're like, but wait, they're actually playing well. And I'm like, crap. Well, it happens. It's all good. It's all good. Yes, Kenny Lofton should be in the Hall of Fame as well.
Okay,
I completely agree.
I guess this will lead us into our next thing. Last time we had spoken, we were talking about the hot streak and all the players that were playing above average and playing really well. And one of the players that was not on that list was Stephen Kwan.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at some things, and on the season, this was as of the 26th, so 3 days ago. So maybe a couple of hits has bumped him back up. His WRC plus is under 100. Stephen Kwan on the season is now considered a below average hitter.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back to his wrist.
Well,
he's not right.
Sure. And since June 1st, he has a 74 WRC plus. In fact, you know how people are joking that the Guardians don't make it to the playoffs in every odd year, and that started in 2019. So 2019, no playoffs, 2020 playoffs, 2021, no, 2022, yes, 2023, no, 2024, yes, 2025, no. You can go and look at Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan, 2022, a 772 OPS. They made the playoffs. 2023, a 710 OPS, no playoffs. Last year, 793 OPS, playoffs. This year, 709 OPS, no playoffs. Is it as simple as if Stephen Kwan is an all-star, you're making the playoffs, and if he's not,
your leadoff hitter is in fact getting on base and doing everything that he's supposed to do, the offense kind of runs through him. It hasn't been that way this year. He's had a couple really good games, and then he's had some real stinkers thrown in there. And then teams have realized, well, wait a minute. The person hitting in front of Jose Ramirez and the person hitting behind Jose Ramirez isn't going to hurt us. So let's just put Jose on base, and Jose can't hurt us. Teams have figured it out.
And Manzardo's starting to hurt teams. He's starting
a little bit.
So,
and he needs to get better at that, and he will.
But this was a culmination of things. So comparing, like, okay, well, why is this team struggling? Why are they not as good as last year? And I can sum it up, I think, into a few bits and pieces. You know, everybody wants to talk about spending and cheapness and whatever. You can spend and do whatever you want as much as you want. But when your ace from last year is in the bottom third in ERA for starting pitchers, that's an issue. Like, cheapness has nothing to do with that. When Clase getting suspended and you lose your closer, and now your setup guy is pushed into the closer role and hasn't quite performed the way you would have wanted to yet, has 5 blown saves, that is an issue compared to last year. Cade Smith's ERA has gone from a 191 to a 314. Hunter Gaddis's ERA has gone from a 157 to a 317. Tim Herron's ERA has gone from a 192 to a 498. Those are all just things that the players, the horses that got you there last year are not getting you there this year. It's as simple as that. That includes Stephen Kwan, unfortunately.
And it's his wrist. We know it. Whether they're going to come out and say it, his wrist obviously is not well. It's probably one of those things that he's going to have surgery in the offseason. And we wish him luck if that's the case. But when you have all of these things, it's a domino effect.
Sure.
Your star pitcher's not pitching well. Your Gavin was supposed to be pitching well. He hasn't been. Logan Allen, he's had some great games lately, not so much.
Right.
Slade looked really good, and he's fallen off. Clase is suspended. Ortiz is suspended. Kwan is hurt. Jose has been the only, all season, it's been Jose. And
there's a couple other things
live and
too,
die with
compare
Jose.
Last year.
Sure.
Last year, David Fry, who was not expected to be a key player for you, had an 804 OPS in the season.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not taking his statistics as a down on him, because he clearly had Tommy John and has to rehab from that. But you didn't have anybody replace his production. John Kenzie Noel, a 774 OPS last season. That's close to what Kyle Manzardo's is this season. So you could say that your production swapped there, but that's lost offensive production from a player that has completely fallen off. I'm sure they thought, if even as something as simple as John Kenzie Noel continuing to build on last season and being a hitter with a high 700 OPS, this team looks completely different.
Yeah.
And then you're not worrying as much as about who's behind Jose and Kwan struggling. And they didn't do that. And we have talked about player development a lot on the show and how it's been lacking.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to figure it out. You continue with that domino effect. You have nobody in right field. You have thrown so many different people out there, and nothing is stuck. You have Angel Martinez, who's been the definition of a roller coaster, where he didn't, he started here, then he got sent down, then they call him back, and then he's playing well, and now he's cooled off significantly.
Angel is having a very, very rough stretch. Very rough.
Brian Rocchio.
There is one more thing.
You can throw out and pick on every player you've had Gabriel Arias, who's probably going to set a record for the most strikeouts this year. Like, just unbelievable. Rocchio looking like a high schooler in a college game, just chasing whatever. You've got Kyle Manzardo, who's slowly creeping in the right direction. You've got Bo Naylor, who has shown signs of brilliance. Like, hey, we're finally going to see the Bo. And no, that was just a one-off. You got Austin Hedges, who we know he's not here for his offensive prowess. He's not. He's here because he's a phenomenal defensive catcher. He knows how to call a game, and he has so much respect within the Guardians organization and within baseball. That's why he's here. This team has not performed to expectation at all.
So here's the one good thing I think about with this season is I think we can finally put a pin in some of these players that have been middling for a while. And Gabriel Arias is numero uno. We have sung his praises because we are so hard on him on this show. We have sung his praises when he has performed well, because we've been begging and praying that he's going to come out of it and he's going to be something. And he had a couple of great home runs and he had a really nice stretch when he came back from AAA after his injury. Since July 1st, Arias is 13th on the team in WRC plus.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
13th. You play 9 batters a day.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not. Schneemann has cooled off. I mean, you can literally point to anybody. You could say Lane Thomas got hurt. You could say Nolan Jones is completely underperformed. And the guy we traded to get Nolan Jones has done well. But that's Colorado.
He's cooled off too.
You can sit there and blame everybody. Oh, the owner doesn't spend money. He's cheap. Oh, it's Vogt and he's made poor decisions, or he's whistling in the wind, as Mike Hargrove said we all are when we doubt Stephen Vogt.
Hang on one sec on Tyler Freeman. He currently has a negative WAR.
Okay.
He does have a 743 OPS, but his month splits
haven't been good.
His August has been bad. His July was slightly above average. He had an amazing June, but
so he's fallen off. So it's 6 one way, half dozen another.
Well, and he had an amazing month for us last year when Stephen Kwan was injured, and he came back and was batting leadoff. He was playing really well. Like I said, and like you've reiterated, there's many things to point to, and for this last month, while they do have opportunity to still seize a wild card spot,
to limp into the playoffs.
Well, if you get a playoff spot, it wouldn't be limping in. You need to win like 10 of the next 30. I mean 20 of the next 30. You need to go 20-10. So that wouldn't be limping in. That would be a hot stretch. But I think this is an opportunity for younger players. This is a tryout. Last month tryout for some guys. And I think it's going to be the end of several players that, are out of options. If Nolan Jones doesn't step up in this last month, if Gabriel Arias doesn't step up in this last month, they're not going to be here next year.
Right. And we know that call-ups are coming. We know that September call-ups are this weekend. Essentially, the team probably already knows what they're doing. They know who they're going to add. They get to add 2 players.
Yeah, it'll be a pitcher, one pitcher, and one hitter.
Yeah. So while we're on the subject, who's it going to be?
Last episode, I said I'd like to see one more crack with John Kenzie Noel.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
However, you could still do that because there's somebody else that I was surprised that they did an option. When they brought back Will Wilson, when Schneemann went on the paternity, I was surprised that they didn't option him to bring Schneemann back. But they can option him if they want to bring back Noel. But I actually think it's going to be George Valera.
I can see that.
I think he is going. Well. I think he is also out of options after this season. So I could see George Valera getting the call up.
What about from the pitching aspect? We got Messick. We knew it was going to be him. He was the first guy that we thought would get called up.
Nikhazy?
Do you go back to Doug Nikhazy? Do you do you do a Will Dion, or do you find it do you throw a dart and go, hey, we'll just
we saw Doug Nikhazy briefly. He went back down to AAA and I'm sure worked on some things. So I'd like to see Doug Nikhazy again.
Yeah, the team's got to figure it out, and I couldn't agree with you more. It is becoming a tryout. Where's Juan Brito? Where's
he still hurt?
He should be coming back soon. Same thing with we know DeLauder's been hurt. He's not coming up. What about Travis Bazzana? Can we get our second baseman of the future up here and just see him play?
They're not going to do that.
I mean,
I know people want to, but they're not going to do that.
I know they're going to make the business decision, but the fans want to see him. They've got all these other first round picks that are making their way into the majors, and Bazzana unfortunately got hurt, and that kind of slowed down his progression to the big leagues. But why not call him up here for
did you know Kurtz leads Major League Baseball in WAR at first base already?
Yeah. 2024
and he's
first
only
round
been
pick.
Here half a season.
2024 first round pick of the then Oakland Athletics. Yeah. I mean, it's an anomaly. I get it, but the Guardians are going to need to do something. If we're done, if we're not going to make it into the playoffs, so if we get beat by Seattle and we get beat by Boston by next weekend, if we're out of it, then let's let the young kids play and let's just see what we have for next year. Because clearly we've got to make some adjustments. Clearly there has to be some moves made. And I think that I end up saying this every single year, that there has to be some moves made to improve this team, because we're mediocre at best this year. And I know, let me beat a dead horse. Well, you can say, well, Kwan's wrist and Bybee hasn't pitched well, and the bullpen.
Well, those are all valid things.
They are.
When your best players aren't your best players, like you're not going to win.
And no one was expecting the suspensions, and who knows if Clase and Ortiz ever play for us again? Who knows? You wonder what can this team do to improve? Is it George Valera? Can he come up here and play well? Is it Bazzana? Is it Brito? Is it DeLauder? Is it what is it going to take? Because I feel like this is a conversation every other year.
Going to take. That's the issue.
We suck at hitting development.
Well,
we suck.
Right now we do, but
pitchers.
I think it's pitchers. Nine of our top 10 prospects are position players.
Yeah.
And it's starting with CJ Kayfus. Now CJ Kayfus has cooled off a smidge himself, but this is only his first month in the big leagues. Right.
He's having his cup of coffee right now. He'll get it.
But the issue is, you again are probably going to go into next season being one of the youngest teams in baseball. And that is a story we have now heard, which will be for the fifth straight season.
Yeah.
And if you're continually the youngest team in baseball, you're going to have ebbs and flows of a young team in baseball. You're going to have these mistakes. There is a little too much reliance on these young guys to come up and be something big. Now, here's the other part of this is my wife asked me this. She goes, when she found out we let go of Santana, she goes, well, then what was the point of trading away Josh? I said, because his contract's up. We would have traded him at the trade deadline anyway. And Josh alone, I can promise you, was not saving this season. If you kept Josh and had Josh instead of Carlos, I don't think they're in that much better of a spot. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, this is a question that I've been asked a few times about Josh Naylor and why did we trade him then? And because I don't think anybody thought Santana was going to struggle like this. I don't.
It has been bad. It has been pretty bad, especially recently. But my point is that the whole part of it was to give Manzardo more at bats, give Manzardo more time. And my point is that all those other things are still going to happen. Kwan is still going to struggle and be injured. Bybee is still going to fall off. Gavin is still going to have his ups and downs. The bullpen is still going to regress with Cade Smith and Herron and Gaddis. All those things are still going to be true. all you've done is added a little bit of offense and Naylor. And I don't think that that's enough. That maybe what do you have? An extra 2 wins with a little bit of Josh offense, possibly.
Yeah.
And all that you would have done is you end up trading him like the Rangers had to do, or excuse me, the Diamondbacks had to do. And you traded him in an offseason, and then he loses that half season of value because the return would have been significantly less. So yeah, you could say, I didn't want to trade Josh. You could say that, okay, well, but at least you made an effort and at least you tried. And I'll hear that. I'll listen to that, because you can't always play the value game. You can't, by doing that, by always worrying about value and getting the best value, you're never seizing an opportunity. And
right.
You had said something yesterday. Well, because I was talking about our free agents and what Chris Antonetti has done in the free agency field, and how there's a lot of misses in there. There's a lot of wasted money.
Struggled. Yeah, he struggled.
And
I'm in a group
that's
chat.
the thing, is when they have spent money, a lot of it has been wasted money. And you said, well, what's the difference? They're not going to spend anyway. They spent $40 million on free agents in the offseason. Like, that's not
wow.
That's not now the only one that is worth a damn out of that group has been Jacob Junis.
Yeah, and he's pitched well. Quietly.
And he's the only one. Now, Santana did have a positive WAR. He had a 1.3 WAR. If you want to do this by WAR, and a lot of that WAR is based on his defense. And I know that, like, that's not what you want. It's essentially why you traded Andreas Jimenez. He was all defense, no offense. That's not helping you. I'm going to go by WAR. So the top WAR players, let's just do we'll do top 10. Edwin Encarnacion is at the top of that. This is since 2016. So this includes the 2016 season. Edwin Encarnacion is definitely at the top. He has 4.7 WAR over his 2 seasons. That's the other thing, is none of these guys have had multi-year seasons. So keep that in mind for this offseason. Is if John Means gets his option picked up, he'll be the first player on a multi-year free agent deal to stay for multi-years since Edwin.
Yeah.
There have been players that have come back on. There have been players that have come back on multiple years in free agency, but they were each single 1 year. So Hedges, Cesar Hernandez, Bryan Shaw, Oliver Perez.
Of course, you're going to mention yourself. I mean, why not? You might as well.
But
yeah, just unbelievable. So who you said Encarnacion? What was his WAR?
A 4.7.
That's pretty good
over 2 seasons. And Ben Lively is the second best one. He's the best one recently. A 2.3 WAR in 2024.
And he's hurt. So
he's hurt now. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now it's an interesting situation, because it's kind of like Colby Allard. So Colby Allard is a free agent, or was a free agent signing, and it's kind of a multi-year deal, because they're arbitration eligible, and so you can sign them. You have their arbitration rights.
I don't know if Colby Allard will be back.
I think he will.
I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know.
I hope not. He's also arbitration eligible.
Listen,
but Colby Allard has been solid.
He has. He's been decent, but
you don't think he's worth $1.2 million?
I think another team might swoop in and take him.
They can't. We have his rights.
Well, we could work out a deal. I'm thinking in the off season.
Okay, so you're going to get some cash or a player to be named later. Big whoop.
Right, I know, but
I mean,
because that's the thing. If you think about this long term, you've got guys that are injured that are going to be coming back. Ben Lively, John Means could potentially be here next year. You got too many arms and not enough. So
You can
You might
always
have
use
to.
more arms.
You could.
I would say it's worth league minimum is like 760, I think, next season.
Wow.
To give him
Can
a
I get a
half million,
contract?
huh?
Can I get a contract?
Oh yeah.
760K I'll sit the bench. I don't care. I'll hold a clipboard.
If you gave him $500,000 above that, I think that's worth keeping.
I mean, he
Allard
has been a quality pitcher. I don't want it to sound that I'm knocking him. I just think that you've got enough arms next year. You're going to have to try. It's going to be, again, a lot of moving parts. Yes, we could always use arms. We're going to need some depth down at AAA. But I also think there's going to be guys that they're going to want to look at to see what they have. Is it Ben Lively? Does he stick around? Is it John Means? Is it, where does Parker Messick fit in next year? Where it does Doug
Messick's in the
Nikhazy get a look?
rotation. Like
He better be. He better be. What about what's going to happen with Logan Allen? What's going to happen? Is Gavin going to figure it out? Is Tanner going to get his emotions in check? Like, there's so many things that have to happen. And
those
so
are all the
variables.
things you said. What's got to happen for them to get better, to improve? Those things have to happen. You have to have your young guys develop. You have to have them continue to get better. It was during the 10-game losing streak that I compared the team currently to last year as a whole, and almost every player had regressed up until that point. Almost every single player. You can't have that. You can't have every player regressing.
Maybe two, maybe three. Like, right. It just seems like our entire team, aside from Jose Ramirez,
right?
That's what it's been this year.
Yeah.
Jose's the GOAT, and we know this, but
every player had regressed from their previous year. So when you say what's it going to take, it's going to take guys developing and getting better and playing better, and that includes Bybee and Gavin and these guys that you're relying on to be the core of your team. And if they're not playing well, then it doesn't matter, and the other things don't matter. So I'm going to continue down this list. So Austin Jackson is third with a 1.9 WAR, and he was a minor league deal.
Yeah, and he made one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in my life in Fenway Park.
2020 Cesar Hernandez signed for only $6 million, 1.7 WAR. Yonder Alonso, a 1.5 WAR
that's
in
a throwback
2018.
name. Wow.
And so he's another one. He did sign a multi-year deal, but they traded him in the offseason before his second season.
Yeah.
Now he fell off. He fell off hard. Here's another one. Tyler Clippard, minor league deal, 1.4 WAR.
Dude, glasses pitcher, man. Don't knock the guy that needs his specs to throw now. Come on.
And then seventh, we're at number 7, is Carlos Santana at 1.3 WAR, who is tied with 2021 Cesar Hernandez, and I separated them because they were 2 one-year deals, and 2018 Oliver Perez, 1.3 WAR.
Ollie. Oh my gosh. I forgot about Ollie.
So you want to go the other direction?
Sure.
You want to see who's been.
We got it. Can we end this?
Valuable?
We got to spin this. We got to end it positively. So,
well, this isn't going to be positive. You're not going to like this. Here's where you're getting a lot of wasted money. Here's where we're getting a lot of wasted money. Now, granted, we needed him, and granted, it was a minor league deal, and it only cost you $2 million. But Carlos Carrasco is last year a negative 1.2 WAR. That one was the worst in terms of WAR. Yeah. Now you could say, all right, but value wise, how much you spend matters. In that case, it's Josh Bell, who was a negative 0.3 WAR for $16 million.
Yeah, he definitely did. But yet he's having a great season this year.
Is he?
For Washington. Yes.
So that is something that they need to think about too, because there's another one that's on here that I think is a negative WAR, or at least close. Where is he?
Let's see. Josh Bell.
Eddie Rosario had a 0.4 WAR.
Okay.
And then we traded him.
Josh Bell is hitting 229.
Well, what is his OPS? It's a 711, so he's average.
Yeah.
All right, but that is something that to speak on though. Josh Bell playing better. Eddie Rosario going to the Braves, basically helping them through the playoffs. Ramon Laureano.
Where did he come from this year? Good grief.
But why are these players, after they leave your organization, developing, playing better, living up to their potential?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Like, well, all right, let's take Josh Bell, for example. When he went to Miami after we traded him, he had an 818 OPS. So why? Like, do they not ask themselves why this happens? And it seems to happen pretty consistently. Like you signed.
We signed what was the catcher, Zunino, and he obviously didn't do squat.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. I'm talking about when they trade them away or when a guy leaves.
Oh, then they end up having great seasons. Yeah, I mean this is.
But Zunino is on the list of bad signings at a minus 0.6 WAR. There is a name on here that you're also not going to like to hear because, interestingly enough, he's on here twice and has a worse WAR than Mike Zunino. Do you know who that is?
No.
Mr. Austin Hedges, who has been a $4 million signing twice in the last 2 years, has a minus 0.7 and a minus 0.6 WAR.
Offensively, Austin Hedges ain't going to move the needle. I get it. He is his just the respect and his defense. I'll sing Austin Hedges' praises all day long. Love the guy. He's going to be an amazing manager someday. Maybe it'll be here. Who knows? But it goes to show you the Guardians need to figure it out. They've got to look at themselves in the mirror. Vogt, Antonetti, Chernoff, Dolan.
But there's a lot of wasted money there. Like, just think about this offseason. Hang on, I want to bring up one more blast from the past, and then we'll talk about this offseason briefly. The final one at a minus 0.5 WAR for $4 million, Juan Uribe in 2016.
Oh my gosh, Juan Uribe. Forgot about him. Wow.
Okay. So if we go to this year, in terms of free agents, you have collectively for $40 million. So Santana got you 1.3 WAR. Colby Allard has got you 0.8. Jacob Junis has got you 0.7. So that's 2.8 WAR.
Yeah.
Bieber and John Means have netted you nothing so far. They haven't played. Now, John Means, that was understood. Part of that is his deal next year. And John Means is only costing you $1 million
Bieber because he just had a phenomenal first start with the Toronto Blue Jays.
And so you paid Shane Bieber, I don't know what was left on his deal, what the Blue Jays got, but basically you paid Shane Bieber $10 million to rehab for you. Yeah. And you didn't see the fruits of that labor. Then you had Paul Sewald, cost you $7 million for a negative 0.2. Now, granted, he was injured most of the season. And I can't believe anybody gave you anything for him. Thanks, Detroit.
Appreciate you, Detroit. You're good for something.
And then Austin Hedges at $4 million at a negative 0.7 WAR. So that right there is $22 million of those four guys that have gotten you a negative 1 WAR as a whole. That's a hitter. That's a hitter that you could have signed. Now the right field market, I'll do this again at the end of the season. We were big in the right field market. You and I were saying, get a right fielder. Finally, come on, right fielder, please.
They did. His name was Nolan Jones, and he didn't help.
Well, shockingly, Nolan Jones, he's not technically free agent, but he's like right smack dab in the middle of offensive statistics for the right field free agent market. They've all been pretty bad the last time I looked at it.
Yeah, it's not been great. Like we were big on what was the guy from Baltimore?
Santander.
Switch hitter. Yeah, we wanted him, and I'm so thankful we didn't sign him. That guy fell off a cliff this year. It'll be interesting here in a couple weeks. We'll see where we're at. We will see where the Guardians are. Again, huge series coming up. You got the Mariners, you've got the Red Sox in Boston. Labor Day, we get Boston. I think it's a 1:35 first pitch. The Guardians aren't out of it, guys. Well, I'm going to try to spin this. I don't know how, but I'm going to try to spin it. All they have to do is get hot. That's it. Like Brian said, if they win 10 of the next 30, we're in the playoffs. 20. And 20 of the next 30. Can we do it? Maybe.
They can. They won. What was it? What were they? 20-9?
Yeah.
What was the 19 and 8 or something like that? What was the stretch? The hot stretch.
We killed it. We could do it again. We could be like the Milwaukee Brewers and win like 15 in a row. That'd be great.
If I do think, in the interest of time, I do think we did undersell how rough the starting pitching has been in this bad 2-week stretch.
Yeah.
Minus Parker Messick. Because it's been bad. It's been bad.
It has.
And so really hopefully that's just some fatigue and they get it figured out. But Bybee going Gavin going 3 1/3 and Bybee going 4 2/3. Like, you need better outings from those guys. Yeah. I know it's August. I know they're tired. I know they're hitting their innings. I mean, but then again, that's another thing where it's like, if you're relying constantly on young players, these things are going to happen. Those guys, your horses got to step up. The horses that got you here last year, they got to step up. And if they're going to play bad, you're going to be bad. It's all there is to it. I mean, you expected after the contract, you expected Bybee to be your ace. He's been not even close to an ace.
No, this team is obviously
he's like 70th in ERA for starting pitcher or something.
It's unfortunate the team hasn't lived up to expectations, but again, there's still a chance, a slim chance, but there is still a chance. We could be in 2 weeks talking about how the Guardians are looking like they're going to make the playoffs, or they could lose 10 in a row again, and we could be like, well, there's the white flag, and the season's over, and let's prep. We're going to prep for next season, and let's see what they need to do.
About that, Mike, is either scenario is possible.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the crazy thing is that either
they
one
have
could
to
happen.
You have to play the games. You do. Well, Brian, a pleasure as always. We could sit here and talk for hours about this team and how they've underperformed and how we're screaming at our televisions when they lose, and we're screaming at our televisions when they win, and we're screaming at Twitter when things are falling apart. They're either, oh my gosh, this team is amazing. Oh my gosh, this team sucks. Can we move into Nashville? Can Dolan die? All these things.
Jesus, Mike.
That's there's some people that have wished some ill things on some Guardians, and it's awful. And I can't believe that we have to say that, but it's always a pleasure talking baseball with you. You see the banner below. We tried it a little easier. Let's see if you can find us on our socials. We're also on YouTube. We're on Spotify. Come hang out. Subscribe. See what you're missing. We do this every 2 weeks. We talk Guards. Hopefully we're normally a little bit more positive than we are today. It's just been a long season, and we thought this team would do a little bit more than they did. Brian, final thoughts.
Catch us on YouTube. We are on all the socials that you see there. You can listen to us later on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. You can also watch us later on YouTube. This is live right now, but this will be up as a video if you needed to catch us later on this Friday afternoon. Enjoy your weekend. It is rock and blast. I expect it to be busy. The weather has been cool, but it should start to slowly warm back up here. We're not done with summer quite yet. Don't let this fool you.
Of course, this is where Bryan Shaw, meteorologist extraordinaire, steps in. He's letting us know, guys, summer's not done. Not quite.
Don't let this fool you. It'll warm back up. But enjoy your Labor Day weekend.
Absolutely.
Sunny today. gorgeous weather, nice and comfortable, and hopefully the Guards give us something to root for. I mean, they aren't mathematically out of it. It's the last month of the season. They're not mathematically out of it just yet. We'll see what happens with the season.
You will see it shortly. Again, thanks for joining us on the MLB Guardcast on Network 216. We'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks again. Go Guards. Happy Labor Day. See you next time.